Morning Combat, always giving you the biggest names in combat sports. Why don't I give you another one here? Why don't we chat right now with Regis Prograis? Call him Rougarou yourself. You can call him one of the most exciting fighters in all of boxing, a contender at 140 pounds. And Regis, one of the new faces and signings for PBC, as you'll be a big part of this pay-per-view from the Alamo Dome Halloween night. Gervonta Davis, Leo Santa Cruz, when you take on unbeaten Juan Heraldez. Always a pleasure to talk to you, sir. How is life these days?
Life is good, man. Besides training my ass off, being tired every day and sleepy, life is good, man. I can't complain.
That is great to hear. Let's talk about signing with the PBC. You were a pretty hot free agent there, and you'd been a guy who'd fought on many a different network, and we'd seen you under a few different flags here.
Mhm.
What's the hook here that brought you into Al Heyman country?
Um, Man, Al Heyman, first off, to even start it off, bro, like, I'm real cool with the twins. You know what I'm saying? Real, like, they like my brothers. We kind of always grew up together and stuff. Like, we grew up together and stuff like that, as far as in the boxing gym. And they've been telling me, man, you got to come by Al. You got to come over here. You got to mess with Al. I was like, I will one day eventually, but, of course, I had other things going on. So, um, once I became a free agent, that was like one of the first places, basically we looked, and Al just the thing is, bro, Al is like the godfather of boxing, and he takes care of his fighters, and he gets them paid, and of course, who wouldn't want that? So, that's why.
And look, some of the big, almost all of the biggest names in boxing around your weight class, 140 pounds, welterweight, are certainly under the PBC flag. You mentioned Al Heyman's like the Godfather. He's also like the Emperor from Star Wars. He keeps behind the scenes here. So, do you actually get to speak with the man? Is that what?
I
What are
actually
you
spoke to him. Yes,
channels here?
I did. I spoke to him, and he said they probably my futures can't really say what he said, but my future's looking very, very bright.
Absolutely, absolutely. We can't wait to check you out on this pay-per-view undercard. We're all excited, of course, for Davis Santa Cruz. Was going to be in the Mohegan Bubble. We got that move to the Alamo Dome. How much of that change excites you from the standpoint that there's going to be some fans in attendance this time around?
It's perfect, bro. I was just saying, man, it's like it's a perfect opportunity. Like I'm back in Katy, Texas, so it's literally like a 2 hour drive from my house. Like probably it's like under 2 hours drive from my house, so it's like almost fighting in my backyard, man. And then they're gonna have fans, so things just sometimes things just work out the way they work out, and for me, things always worked out better. I don't know when one door closes for me. People say two doors open up, but like for me, it'll be like four doors will open up. And I mean, that's kind of how it always been with me. And this is a perfect opportunity example, and this is a good opportunity for me.
Well, you draw Juan Heraldez here, who I've seen on Showtime before. Very tough fighter, 16-0-1 with 10 KOs. And when we consider that you got a guy like Mario Barrios on this undercard, you've got name them at 140 and 147 across the PBC universe. What's at stake for you? What are you looking to do? What does this debut mean for this new chapter in your career?
First, it's just it's the first. I think this is the first step into my new chapter. Basically, this is the first line in my new chapter of my career. I have to get past. Of course, I have to get past Heraldez, and I'm not looking past him. But I just gotta go out there and like I said, I just gotta go out there and just do my thing, bro. And then I know it's a lot of big stuff on the line for me. It's too much. It's so much money out there for me, and and one thing I really want to do, I want to be a champion again at 140. That's something I really definitely want to do. I was number one at 140 for a long time, and I want that spot back. I want to be number one again at 140, and I want the belts again at 140. So, that's kind of that's kind of just my goals, and we'll see what happens. But first step is Juan Heraldez, so I gotta take care of him first, and then I can kind of plan my future.
Well, you're 24-1 with 20 KOs, and that one loss was one of the better fights boxing has produced the last few years in the World Boxing Super Series tournament against Josh Taylor. We know Josh Taylor is going to go on to fight Jose Ramirez for all four belts at 140. We can't wait for that one, but that could have been you. It was that close against Taylor. When you look back at that, you showed out. You showed us everything that's inside of you, from skills to balls to the ability to make fun fights. Is it bittersweet that you come up that short, or is there a win inside of a loss in a way because you fought so well?
It's kind of both, man. Even first I still thought I won. I still thought I won the fight. It was definitely a close fight, and I don't think I got robbed or nothing like that. But I feel like if it was here in this country, I would have won the fight. I definitely think that for sure I would have won the fight if it was here. But it was a close fight, and it was his night, man. Sometimes you can't take away it was his night. You can't take away that, man. And that's kind of something I just kind of thought about. Of course, at first I was a little bitter about it. I went at the time I was living in LA, and I went back to LA, and I was just sitting on the beach and in Malibu and all that, and then just thinking about it, like, I'm supposed to have those belts, I'm supposed to have the Muhammad Ali trophy. But then I just thought about it, like, you know what, it was his night, and it's water under the bridge, and I kind of just left it alone, and it just made me, I think it made me that much stronger. It was like a self-reflection for me, and made me change a lot of things up. First off, one of the biggest things I changed up is after I became a world champion, I moved to LA, yeah, which was a mistake for me. I should never did that.
Why was
So
that? What went
so I
wrong in
moved.
LA here, Regis?
It wasn't nothing that went. I won't say it went wrong, but in Houston, I'm in Texas and stuff like Katie in Houston. So boxing started out here for me, and my trainers are all out here, and for me, my success always been that I lived in training camp. That was always my success. I lived in training camp, that's why I was so dominant, because I lived it, I wouldn't just go to camp, and then I lived in training camp. I'm around my trainers all the time, and we train year round, except of course if I travel and stuff like that. When I moved to LA, I lived on vacation. That's a big difference. When you live on vacation, I mean, I loved LA. I fucking loved the hell I lived in LA. I really did. I still miss it. And I figured, that's how I would want to retire. I would definitely be back in LA, maybe retire in LA. But as far as right now, my career needs to be here. And it was just self-reflection, man. This is, I need to be back to the grind. I need to be back to the heat in Houston, and like, this is where I need to be, back around my trainers, because me and my trainers, we work year round. And when I was in LA, they just came to training camp when I have a fight. So that's kind of, sums it up.
You went Hollywood on us. You just went a little bit too early there, Regis. But I
A
know
little bit
that
too early, man. Retirement. When I'll be back on the West Coast when I retire.
well, look, if we don't know you from your exciting style and you bring it, you go after your opponents, you get a lot of notoriety of the Rougarou nickname and the incredible mask headdress that you wear to the ring. Tell me more about this thing. Where does one keep a Rougarou headgear? Is it like
I got,
under wraps in a closet somewhere? Tell us more about this.
I got actually, man. The crazy part about it is, bro, like, all my partners be taking it from me. After the fight, they'll take it home with them. In the mask, how much the damn mask cost? I think it was like it's a 1-to-1. It was like $1,000, $1,200 mask or something I had to pay to get the shit made. And like,
Wow.
my pot after the fight, they'll take it home with them. And I'm like, bro, bring me my fucking mask. Please bring my mask, bro. Like, this is mine. Give my mask. So I finally have it. My daddy. It was in New Orleans. My daddy picked it up. He just got back here yesterday to Texas, and now it's here. It's in my house because I have to have it for the fight. So it's here.
Now tell us about what a Rougarou is for people that don't know, and what that creature character, how you identify with that what is it? What is it? Is it a real animal? What the hell is a Rougarou?
Listen, bro. All right, so it's kind of like the boogeyman of Cajun culture, coon ass and Cajun culture. That's kind of what it is, in Louisiana. Now I had people say they saw it for real. They little, I don't think they might not. I had cousins say I just seen a Rugu before. I'm like, y'all kind of crazy or whatever. So it's like basically like a werewolf. It's like a swamp monster werewolf type of thing. Supposedly in the swamps of New Orleans. So that's kind of, that's what
All
it
right.
is.
Anyone who thinks they've seen it, were they on peyote at the time? Probably. That's fine though. We love that. You do roll in a Hollywood circle, correct? Mark Wahlberg
Yeah.
as a co-manager.
Yeah, Mark Wahlberg and Peter Berg. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, Peter Berg as well, big boxing guy, absolutely. I saw you come to bat publicly for Mark Wahlberg when Conor McGregor was dirtying up his name publicly. What
Yeah, yeah,
happened with
yeah,
that
yeah,
whole
yeah.
scenario?
I don't know, man. He called out Mark Wahlberg and was like, bro, why you calling out an actor? Like Mark maybe he can fight, but he's not a fucking athlete. And I was just like, I'll definitely fight Conor McGregor, and not even that. Like, I'm actually a fan of Conor McGregor. I see you got McGregor on the back wall, and I was a fan of McGregor, man. I love fighters that can talk shit and can back it up, and he's definitely one of those, one of the fighters that can do that. But for me, and I know jujitsu. I know how to fight a little bit, some jujitsu. So I was like, we can fight MMA and we can do boxing. Let's do a deal like that.
Ooh.
But I never heard a reply back. Which of course, he not gonna entertain me.
All right. What we love about Mark Wahlberg is, he always gets the publicity for the fact that he does more before 8 a.m. He does like 86 workouts, gets up at 3 in the morning
Yeah.
and carries on this incredible fitness schedule and training regimen. Could you compete with him in that? I mean, you're a professional athlete. Would you be getting up at 3 a.m. and doing all that crap that guy does?
If I went to sleep at 7 or 8 o'clock like he does, I probably can, but I don't go. I'm not I do all my work like say like when he's working out like 4 o'clock in the morning, I'll probably be working out at 10 o'clock at night. When he's sleeping, I'll be working. So I think it kind of goes hand in hand, because I'm not gonna be up at 4 o'clock working out. That's just not me. But I will be working out at 12 o'clock at night, 12 a.m. I would do that. I do that like almost every night. So yeah, we'll probably go back and forth, but the times will be a little different.
I've seen Mark. He's always in great shape. We've seen him, connect with sports in the past throughout his career. He played Mickey Ward in The Fighter. If
Right.
there was a celebrity division, you think he'd make some noise?
Oh, for sure. I definitely think so for sure, man. Mark, like I said, he always in a lot of shape and stuff like that. He does know how to throw hands. He's still, no matter how Hollywood he is, he's still from the hood. He still got that street stuff in him. So yeah, I think he could definitely make some noise.
All right. You mentioned briefly about you've trained MMA in the past, and we have a lot of UFC fans on this podcast. And how much are you doing that these days? What's your connection? Do you love watching the sport? How did that all start with you? Because I remember talking to you in the past. You going down to Brazil? Did you spar with Jose Aldo?
Yeah, I just sparred with him. We were supposed to spar. Me and Jose were supposed to spar together. I'm cool with him, and he's actually one of my close friends. That's like his brother out there too. Like we all kind of connected and stuff. And I went out there. I trained with Pedro Hizel. He's like Pedro Hizel. He trained. I mean, he trained Aldo. He trained Anderson Silva. And he has like a big state. He has his own big old facility out there. He has a stable of fighters, and so I went out there and I trained with them. I sparred. It was crazy, man. I think I sparred like 20 rounds or so, 22 rounds or something like that. Cause I
Wow.
sparred with every fighter he had. Like they switched me. We rotated. And so we kept sparring, kept sparring, kept sparring. But it was a very, very good experience. I still talk to Pedro all the time. And of course I can't wait to go back out there. But yeah, that's kind of how it started. One of my friends, he's an MMA fighter. And he just wanted me. I kind of always wanted to do it, but I have to do it on my off season, like when I'm not training, because MMA is dangerous. You can twist your ankles, and I can't do that stuff while I make too much money with my hands, so I definitely can't be messing around with them dudes. But when I was in Brazil for vacation, I went out there a few times already, and I stayed out there for like a month at a time. So that's when I'll like mess around with it.
I'm sure you guys, from boxers to mixed martial artists, you have mutual respect for what you do.
Definitely.
Is there any element about training in MMA that you're like, oh man, I mean, those leg kicks look like that's not fun stuff, man.
I never got kicked in the leg, man. Thankfully, like so. What I would do, I would either do like so when I sparred with at Pedro Hizel's gym, we would only do like the boxing. I'll box with all the guys, so I was showing them how to throw their hands, and he let me teach them like a class and stuff. So I would do that, or I would just get on the ground and do jujitsu. So I didn't get no kicks, man. They know they can't kick me. Like, bro, don't kick my leg, bro. I can't take this right now. That those dudes are serious with those kicks, and like, I need my legs right now. So one day I will be able to take the kicks, but right now, no, they can't kick me.
Yeah, stick with the hands for now. We had your name linked with Maurice Hooker for a while before you made this big move, and the quarantine threw everybody's plans off. And then Hooker kind of, it seemed like he did a little switcheroo on you. Any hard feelings over the weight? And you went down the road negotiating, and then Mo Hooker's like, I don't know about this. Well, what happened there?
Yeah, first he fucked up a lot of money. We was both gonna make a shitload of money. He definitely fucked that up, But hey, no hard feelings. So I think me and him mutually don't like each other. That's just kind of how it is. We just mutually have bad blood for each other, and I think it's a part of the reason because I actually beat him in the amateurs. Me and him fought in state, and it's on my YouTube channel. You can check that out. So I actually beat him in the amateurs and stuff like that. And that was to go to the Olympic trials. So I think he just never liked me from there. And then of course I have a mouth. I can talk my ass. I have a big mouth sometimes, and I can talk my ass off. So I think he doesn't like that. He's not too much of a talker. But yeah, and then we were supposed to fight. at 140, and they said he couldn't make it, so the fight was gonna be at 143. And and then after that, of course, the pandemic hit, and that got scrapped away. I was in training camp for that, and then after that, they were talking about, all right, we're gonna do it again, and I was in training camp again for him, and he said he going to 147, and they tried to salvage the fight. I think my manager, tried to salvage the fight. As far as what I heard on my side, my manager tried to salvage the fight, and we just couldn't come together on weight. I said, I'll do 144. Because like I said, at first it was supposed to be at 140. Then he said, no, let's do it at 143. So that was like, all right, let's do 144. He still was saying 147. And then I think he told Dan Rafael that he could do 145. So they asked me about 145, and I was like, no, I'm not doing 145. And then after a week went by, it was just nothing. I was like, all right, tell him I'll do 145. I was like, I want to fight. I was getting desperate. Tell him let's do 145. And he just said, he's 147. And that's it. And so that was it. He just said he's going to 147. And the fight just got scrapped.
All right, that one fell apart. Obviously, you got a big opening bout here against Juan Heraldez, like we talked about, but we're also teasing that there's could be monster business in the future for you, whether you stay at 140 or move up to 147, which you've always been open and said, when the time is ready, you're more than willing to do that. One name that sometimes gets linked with yours, though, is Adrien Broner. And here's a guy who can float between weight classes. Are we on some sort of collision course? Do you like that fight? What do you think about AB?
I love that fight, man. I think it's a big possibility. I think it's definitely a big possibility now, especially now. I think it's a huge possibility. Of course, Heraldez is first. That's what I gotta take care of first. That's kind of what's on my mind. But I think me and him, that if we make that fight at 140, it's no other fight they can make that'll be bigger than that fight at 140. You have Josh Taylor and you have Jose Ramirez, which are champions. But if you put them two on the same day as me and Adrien Broner, of course, who's going to watch more. So I think since it is a big possibility it can happen, I think it'll be a great fight. I think it'll be a great fight. It'll make a lot of sense. I talk a lot, he talks a lot. We know all the same people, like in the hip hop community, we know all the same people. We kind of actually talk indirectly. I don't have his number, he doesn't have mine, but we talk through other like mutual friends. We have a lot of it's funny because we have a lot of the same mutual friends. Like in just all around the board, we have a lot of mutual friends. So we talk shit to each other through our mutual friends, basically. So I think I think that could be a fight that could be made. But first, of course, I gotta do take care of Mr. Heraldez.
Well, Adrien Broner, a fine pro boxer, but he went pro in the rap game as well. How are his chops when it comes to spitting bars? Have you sampled the Problem's ability here on the microphone?
I listen to him a little bit, bro. He all right. He's straight. He all right. I can't say he's shitty or he trash or nothing. He's straight. He all right. He got some, what I'm saying? He got some rhymes and stuff like that, but he's straight.
Respect to AB on that one as well. Who do you got here in this 140 Super Bowl when they do make this Josh Taylor, Jose Ramirez fight for all four belts? You've been in there with Taylor. You've been linked. It looked like you were almost going to fight Ramirez for a while on that side of the street. He ran from me. All right. Well, who wins? Who in your eyes when they make this?
I got Josh Taylor. I think Josh Taylor win that fight. If I just think all around the board, I think he's a better fighter all around the board. Yeah, I mean and then Jose Ramirez kind of been outboxed by Zepeda, and he been outboxed by Postol, already. And if I won't say it, but a lot of people said he's supposed to have 2 losses on his record already from both of those guys. So if Josh Taylor, and then Josh Taylor, he's strong, he's big, he's a southpaw. If he can move his feet against, I think he could have a potentially easy night, But the thing about Josh Taylor, he has a set of cojones too, because I fought him and I know he'll get in there and try to fight. And but he's a good body puncher too. So I think, yeah, I still got, like I said, I still got Josh Taylor win that fight. I think that the Ramirez's chance if he tries to get in close and try to bang him up to the body, but at the same time, I don't think that'll really work on Josh Taylor because he's a good body puncher too. So, but like I said, I think Josh Taylor win that fight.
All right, another big name in the news is Teofimo Lopez Jr., the unbeaten, undisputed lightweight champion. He had mentioned after beating Vasily Lomachenko that maybe, he'll go up to 140. We do know he's young, just 23. Would you be willing to welcome that man to the new division?
Of course, let him come. Let him come, man. Let him fucking come. I don't think uh I don't I can't say I don't think he'll beat people like of course I can't say that would be silly, but I remember him and his daddy, we met and it's a YouTube video. He was like, man, after we whoop Lomachenko ass, we gonna fight you. We gonna fight you. And imagine how much money y'all gonna make in this and that, and y'all will be so rich and stuff. I was like, all right, let's do it. So we talked about that. And they say his daddy's like Nostradamus now. He's predicting everything. So hey, if he wants to do that, so be it. Let it. We can definitely make that fight happen.
All right, you'll be on the undercard of Gervonta Tank Davis against Leo Santa Cruz. A lot of us have been wanting to see Tank really push in a fight. I like Leo's balls coming up to make this happen. They're going to meet in the middle at 130. How do you really see this matchup playing out?
I got Gervonta Davis. He's the bigger guy. He's definitely the bigger puncher. I think Leo definitely he's a live dog in the fight because he's a volume puncher. He's gonna keep coming and stuff like that. But I think Gervonta and like I said, bigger guy, bigger puncher. He is slick. He's a southpaw. And on top of that, it looked like he's focused, very, very focused right now. A lot of people was worried about if he was gonna make the weight. He looked huge going into camp, but now he looked like he looked small. Basically, I think they had a clip of I saw on YouTube that last week when of him watching the Teofimo fight, and he looked small. He looked really little. So most likely, he'll make that weight. And he's focused basically, and of course around Floyd Mayweather, he's looking focused. So I think that I think he'll pull it off.
Oh, you've had to fight the hard fight, not just in the ring, but outside, getting your name known. We know boxing, there's a lot of politics. What does the fan and journalist not know about how hard this journey is to navigate from the fighter standpoint? Because it's not as easy to say as much as we'd like it that, hey, you want to fight Teofimo, you want to fight Haney, you want to fight this guy, you want to fight Crawford, you want to fight Spence. There's always there's promoters, there's networks, there's all that crap. How hard is that actually to navigate as a fighter?
Super hard, man. It's super hard. You can say you're gonna fight all these people, and just like I said, man, me and Maurice Hooker really have bad blood, and we really were supposed to fight, and it just didn't happen. So and I had a bunch of fights. I think I had a bunch of fighters that I did called out, and I wanted to fight them, and it just didn't happen. Things fell through, and that's just how it is, man. That's just kind of how boxing is. You have a lot to deal with. It's just not the fighters. I don't think maybe some fighters you might get a tiny percentage of fighters that might be scared of another fighter, but most fighters I don't think are scared of other fighters. They'll fight whoever. I know fuck you can fight me against anybody. Especially getting paid. I fucking fight against a heavyweight. So it doesn't matter about that. But at the end of the day, you do have people, basically like people you have to that advise you, and networks, promoters, managers, and it's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. So, and we seen it. Of course, we seen it with like the Floyd and Pacquiao thing. We seen it how long it took them to fight because it was so much it was so much stuff they had to go through, and it's a lot, man. It's a whole lot. So as a fighter, you wouldn't try to even think about all that stuff. You just try to that's why you have a manager to like deal with that. You tell them I want to fight him, you deal with it. And they might come back, you maybe this fight, and like, bro, all right, whatever. Just put me in with somebody. Just give me a fight.
All right. Any new ink as we wind down here? Any new ink? I see the tats on your forearm, on your inside there. Anything new that we got?
This is my newest thing, bro. I got a sleeve. It's a boxing sleeve. I got. Wait, hold on. Let me see.
I got Ali on there with the red gloves. I like that.
You got Ali. Let me see if you can see that. Ali, right there. Let me see how much of a boxing fan y'all are. So hold on. Let me see. Who is that?
Is that Bruce Lee right there?
That's Bruce Lee.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me see. Who is that?
That looks like Sugar Ray Robinson.
Who is that?
Joe Louis.
Who is that?
Jack Johnson.
Who is that? Come on, man. You almost got all of them.
Come on, who is that?
Come on, man. Almost everybody.
Oh, I don't know. Who is that?
Henry Armstrong.
Oh, yes. I'm going to get killed by the boxing hardcores for that one. Henry Armstrong.
Killed, bro. But nah, you did good, bro. You did real good.
I was
you
like,
got
what do you
almost
got?
all of them.
I hope you're not hiding Ryan Garcia or someone on there. Look, do you respect to the great Canelo Alvarez, but he got his wife's eyeballs on his outside of his left forearm. Now she's seeing everything he's doing. Is that a little too far? I mean, he must love his lady, but come on, bro.
I don't know, bro. I can't talk about the great Canelo Alvarez. I got my wife's name on me, so I wouldn't get eyeballs on me, but I got my wife's name on me too. She actually got my name 2 times on her.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, I got my wife's name tattooed on me too. But hey, man, I don't know what to say about that with the eyeballs and stuff.
Well, speaking of your beautiful family, a little birdie told me 3rd child on the way and due on fight night. Is this a true fact?
That's true, man. It's supposed to be on the 30th. So next exactly a week from today. Yeah, it's supposed to be on the 30th.
Does that make training camp different at all? Does that mean you got to be nervous and excited and all that, right?
Oh man, it's you know what? It's gonna be a huge weight lifted off my shoulder once October is over. I had a fucking super busy October, bro. Like my son's birthday was Tuesday. The new baby's coming the 30th, or maybe even before that, and I'm fighting on the 31st. So, bro, it's just like a lot. It's just a whole lot of stuff going on. So I'll be so ready to like get October done and get the fight over with. I'm probably gonna drive straight back here, drive home, and see the new baby, and then then just kind of go from there.
There it is. Always a pleasure to talk to Regis Prograis, and we can't wait for this fight. Halloween night, Saturday, October 31st. Showtime pay-per-view from the Alamo Dome. You're going to get Tank Davis and Leo Santa Cruz, but look closely when we see Rougarou in there against unbeaten Juan Heraldez. Give me one word on what we should expect from you come fight night.
Redemption.
Yes. Redemption. I love it. You got your business on track. You got your family on track. Now it's time to go out there and just earn that money like you deserve. Always a pleasure, sir. Best of luck.
Thank you, brother. Have a good one, man. Thanks.
TV taught me how to dream. It was a life jacket. I don't think you can be an artist and not touch people.